From Castle Rexworth and the Rexworth Estates, I bid you good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever you are, and whenever you are. My name is Rexworth, Lord Rexworth, and I welcome you to an impromptu stream, as we do these days. I'm home for the day, going to get back out on the road tomorrow. I had the day to myself and decided, you know what? I think I've got a stream in me. I think we can do a stream. Not only that, but I did notice that very quickly running out of content, especially on the YouTube channel. So I figured probably best to do a stream, get some React content into the queue for Action to work on as far as editing goes. That way we'll have enough content to sustain ourselves at least until the end of the year. Vivian, welcome in. Good to see you. Phalanx, welcome to you. Also, Anglo, thank you for dropping in. I'm having a hard time telling. Oh, you're... Okay, so you're watching me on Kick. Got it. Right. We are simulcasting. We are simulcasting currently on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Kick, so welcome in. Wherever you happen to be tuning in from. Thank you if you are a warm body on Kick. I believe I'm monetized enough there now that I should be getting those certain American penny dollars, as a certain Foxu Oshi of mine calls them. So, thank you, those of you who are choosing to be warm bodies on Kick. You were gone forever. Yes, I was. I had no real control over that, unfortunately. And believe me, I would have been back sooner. Very good explanation for that. We can blame my employer, my soon-to-be, God willing, former employer, that put me on an account that paid more money, and then neglected to tell me that the trade-off was that, home time, any sort of time off, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. We're going to run you into the ground, work you half to death, and make you regret ever taking on this account, is the long and the short of it. So that is obviously unacceptable to me. And I opted to go find employment somewhere else that actually gives me my weekends back, pays me the same amount of money, but I'm only having to work 5 days a week instead of 7 days a week. I know that in the line of work that I'm in, which is professional lorry driver, the idea of Monday through Friday 9 to 5 is not really a thing. I understand that. But to deprive your professional drivers of home time is only going to burn them out and will eventually create a safety issue. And I don't think it's worth it to... I don't think it's worth it to work them so hard and then deny them their home time requests like that. To me, it sort of sounds like they've written a check that they can't exactly cash, or that they're concerned they won't be able to cash it. And they've decided to make that my problem. And it's not my problem. I just drive the truck. So they want to write checks that they can't cash. That's fine. But they're going to do it without me. And I'm going to go somewhere else where I can get my weekends back and where they have told me in no uncertain terms, Fridays, you need to start heading back to the home terminal and you need to be there by noon. That's your deadline. I can live with that. I'll wake up early on a Friday to start heading back from southeastern US or whatever it is that they're going to have me driving. Mostly going to be confined to the southeastern United States. Won't be hauling dry vans anymore, but going to be driving flatbeds now. So there's going to be some special training involved with that. But that's all right. We work to earn the right to work. It's sad, but that is what we have been reduced to, unfortunately. Thank you for the Genshin wishes again. You didn't have to spend so much on me. Oh, it's my pleasure, Vivian. It's my pleasure. Besides, you deserve something nice for your birthday. Then we go to a place of employment, give them a good talking to. I doubt it would work, and besides, I'm going to be out of there next week. I'm opting to head back to the home terminal on Wednesday of next week, and I'm going to hand back the keys, clean out my lorry, and hand in the badge and walk out of there and go enjoy a nice long holiday weekend with my family. Damn, won't be coming up to my neck of the woods, probably for the best. Yeah, no, I'm rather used to driving towards the east these days. I've never really had a chance to go out westward. So, and the work that I'm going to be taking up with this new job is going to have me confined mostly to the southeastern portion of the United States, which is fine. It's what I'm used to. I've driven through there before. Thankfully, they're not going to have me going up into the northeast, which I did that before. I don't know how anybody does it. It's a pain in the ass, especially dealing with once you get into Maryland and Pennsylvania, places like that. You really, really have to start being cognizant of weight restrictions and height restrictions for bridges and for roads. And yeah, there's been a few instances where I've had to probably go slower than a lot of people would have preferred, because one wrong turn and for your purposes, you've dead-ended because you can't go under a bridge because your rig is too tall. You know, I drive a rig that is about 13 feet 6 inches tall, and there's plenty of bridges out there in the northeastern part of the United States that have height restrictions far lower than that. And a few instances where there's only a few inches of gap between the bottom of the bridge and my trailer, and I am holding my breath and very slowly inching through, hoping to God I don't scrape the top of my trailer. Yeah, I hate driving that part of the country. At least lower half, southeastern portion of the US, you don't really have that problem. And especially when you're driving through the American South, generally speaking, it's not an issue that you have to concern yourself with. I think they still publish them, the large road atlases, and very often at the beginning, before you get to the map portions, they have listed out areas you have to watch out for low bridge heights, weight restrictions. Low bridge heights in particular, that list gets very long with northeastern states. Southern states, central, Midwest, you don't really have that problem. Tallest height listed at work is 10 feet 6. Yeah, that would probably be an over height load that would require special permits. It is, and usually those require an escort of some kind, a pilot vehicle, riding front or behind. And those particular journeys, even a short journey on the map, can sometimes take quite a long time because you really, really have to be careful. You have to you're constantly stopping to check and make sure that your load is secure, because you take a turn too fast and you'll lose it. So easy to tip over. Oh my goodness. Vivian, thank you for the 40 bits. Thank you so much. The high is in the bus for nothing less than this. Haven't had any issues myself. Well, that's good. That's a bit different with buses. I'm thinking more of holding heavy equipment, trucks that are holding large industrial grade generators and HVACs boxes and whatnot. Get bit attacked. Well, thank you, Vivian. Thank you. We appreciate the bit attacks here. And a couple of good travel videos here. Chat. I do want to make sure that we get... Oh, thank you for another 50 bits. Thank you. Just sitting here eating instant ramen, waiting for my headache to go away. Oh, I am sorry, Phalanx. I do hope your headache goes away soon. Thank you for another 5 bits, Vivian. Thank you. It's, I will admit it's been a minute since someone has thrown that many bitties at me. So thank you. Really appreciate that. And with that, it looks like you are the number 1 on the leaderboard for bits. So congratulations on that. Just a moment. Got a couple of things here that I want to talk about. A couple of good videos I see here from Podcast Lotus Eaters. We've enjoyed content from them before, so I I want to do some reacts to some of the segments from their podcast. And thankfully, with a new job, I will be back to streaming, probably starting this next month in December, on the weekends. If I can get back in time and I'm not too exhausted, I will do a Friday night stream, but at the very least, Saturdays and Sundays, definitely streaming. So those that I have wanted to collab with, definitely going to be reaching out to them and saying, "All right, let's pick these plans back up again," because I now know that I will be streaming again, because I've got some people that I wanted to stream with this month and even last month, and it because my work had other ideas, I had to cancel. I mean, I'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit. I was actually supposed to, in late October, I was supposed to have a collab with Amalgamite, and unfortunately, because I was on the road and had no idea when I was going to be getting back, if ever, I had to tell her, "I'm so sorry, but we're going to have to cancel and reschedule." Let's see, some other people that I've been talking to. I mean, no, I won't go into any further details, but that was one in particular that I was really looking forward to, because I have watched Amalgamite's content. I like her content, very much like me, you know, right-leaning in the based department. And, yeah, it all fell through, unfortunately. I had plans, but then work. Yeah, work's a bitch sometimes like that. It do be that way, Mr. Stancil. Can you come take me away from work? Wish I could. Let's go ahead and let us do the news. And let's start by going through some of the things that we're seeing on X at the moment. Let's go to window capture. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. Right. Let's see, a couple of things that you might have missed if you're not following me on X. By the way, you can do that by just going to x.com and searching for Lord Rexworth at x.com/Lord Rexworth. It's as simple as that. Links are available there on YouTube, on Kick, on Twitch. Find all my links at lordrexworth.com. Simple as that. Yeah, and we start with a thing from members of, I think they're mostly Democrats, basically calling for a color revolution against the federal government, using platitudes like "hold the line," blah, 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 specifically reaching out to, the message was targeted towards the military and towards people in the intelligence community. And, yeah, from Christian Haynes, blatantly calls for the military and intelligence agencies to stage a bureaucratic color revolution against the duly elected federal government, and then cries about being a victim after Trump fed posts like a boomer in response, saying, "Yeah, you can't do this. This is, actually, I may have tweeted something about this yesterday. Ah, yes, here we go. Yeah, elected Democrats release a video encouraging members of the military to commit treason and defy orders from President Trump and War Department Secretary Pete Hegseth. I have to get used to calling it the War Department because it's no longer called the Defense Department. It's the Department of War, like it used to be way back in the day. Haruki Tsukio, hello there. Welcome in. Noticed I never chatted here. Wanted to show some support. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome in. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a lovely day. How have you been? How's the family? How's your mum? Everyone make sure you go follow Haruki Tsukio. Just click on their name tag there, and that'll take you over to their page. Give them a follow, why don't you? Hope you're doing well too. Everything's going well so far. Fantastic. Love to hear that. Anyway, here's what Democrats are putting out.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is...
All of these people have the look of the sort of type that would put this out. Very Weasley looking people. The look does not lie. These are soulless, untrustworthy people that we're looking at. I should be able to call for treason and not face any backlash. Yeah. Yeah, they want to be able to fuck around and not find out.
Pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals.
Against American citizens.
like us. You
How?
all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are
This guy in particular, this bloke here, definitely got a bit of soy chin going on from the looks of it. Possibly a closeted homosexual, we're not sure. At least you're not playing the wifey games or whatever you call it. That comes later. Former Ranger joining the Democratic Party. Bugger off, yeah. DM'd a response video on YouTube to this, pretty sure. Oh, all right. Oh, yes, here it is. We'll look at that after we watch through all of this.
Threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out
They go from you can to you must.
orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
Yeah, except they're not violating the Constitution, they're not violating the law. You just want them to commit treason. You just want them to... You're calling for a colour revolution in this country. And all of you, if we lived in a real country, and if this administration was more than just talk, they would be busting down the doors to their offices in the Congress and the Senate with troops or National Guardsmen or police with riot gear and guns and pointing them at these people and saying, you are under arrest. If not just shooting them and being done with it.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army, or Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
No, you don't.
now more than ever.
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up. for our-
You people are all... You're all a bunch of pussies. Every last one of you. You would sell every last one of these people in the CIA and the military down the river and just say, oh no, we were never calling for anything like that. No, no, no. You absolute weasels.
laws.
Our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
I think this is code. Putting it in big bold letters like this, having everybody pet at the same word in the same script like this, it's code. It's code of some kind. This is a coded message that they're sending to activate some type of cell or something, I don't know. That's typically what you do in cases like this. They're not violating the Constitution, they're adhering to it. Weasels is crazy. Yeah. Right, let's take a look at what you sent over, Phalanx.
Well, some Democrat members of Congress who are former military members of the intelligence community got together to do this little video lecturing you active duty service members about your oath to the Constitution. Because after all, if anybody cares about the Constitution, it's these guys. I mean, except for like the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, elements of the Ninth and 10th Amendment. And of course, they regularly stray from the constraints that are put on them in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. But other than that, they really, really super duper care about the Constitution. And they also want you to know that they respect what you do.
Yeah,
And
they
have
care
your
so
back.
much.
I mean, unless, of course, you're getting kicked out of the military for not wanting to take an experimental vaccine. Then they don't have your back at all. But look,
Yeah.
the bottom line is
Always
you can't
caveats.
follow unlawful orders, and that's true. Now, they didn't offer any specific unlawful orders that you've been given, but that's not the point here. The point is they really care about you and the Constitution, except when they don't. So,
Yeah.
listen to them or something.
Yeah, stop talking. They really need to stop talking. Give that a like. They don't care about the Constitution. I don't think hardly anybody cares about the Constitution anymore. It is being reduced to a meaningless piece of paper that is only of value when people actually have some sort of respect for it, and when it's actually backed up with a proper type of force. People care, it's just been eroded. I don't know. Just as I've said we can't vote our way out of a lot of these problems, there are too many people, especially controlled opposition, that would say, oh no, we can't implement solutions to our problems because that would violate more constitution. The people that don't care if you're a number but loud in voice. Too many people are hung up on rules and not really focusing on results. Too many people still want to take some sort of mythical, non-existent high road to show how virtuous they are and still expect to defeat their enemies. And it doesn't work that way. I've stated plenty of times before, if you want to beat the left, if you want to defeat globalists, you have to be willing to fight as dirty as they do, if not dirtier. Notice how they don't mention said illegal laws. Yeah, no, they don't. These magical made-up laws are being broken. Rebel! Only person I've actually seen in history that actually wanted to follow the Constitution and wanted to follow its original track was George Lincoln Rockwell. You can't turn the other cheek to an enemy that does not respect you. No, you can't. Turning the other cheek, offering your coat to an enemy, it's what you do when you're in a position of relative weakness and you want to appear non-threatening. When you are in a position of strength, you absolutely make sure that your enemy does not get back up again. And we've seen a lot, as I've been away, we've seen a lot of people, including the president himself, giving away the victory. We were promised mass deportations, and instead, it's like the Pawn Stars meme. Gaming TV XTO, thank you for the follow. And instead, we're given the Pawn Stars meme of best I can do is 50-year mortgages and 15-year car loans. If the enemy views you as less than, there is no high road you can take to change their mind. No. And our enemies hate us and want us dead. They will settle for no less. They will absolutely settle for no less than that. The only thing you can do is crush them completely and totally, and don't allow them to get back up again. Are you ready for the New World Order? Giving the same response that I did. It's like, that's a lot of words that sound like treason to me. It's treason then. You must fight your enemy but never become the monster you are fighting. I don't really know about that. I take a bit more nuanced view. I say, as far as your enemy is concerned, in their imagination, you're already a monster. You may as well give them the visual that they so crave, if only to frighten them to the point where they make more mistakes that you can use to your advantage to defeat them. We have to keep in mind that leftists will always use the Alinskyite tactic of the ends justify the means. Or it's okay when we do it. Where is there a rule book or some sort of written law that says we can't mirror their tactics and use those same tactics against them? I don't even view it as becoming the monster that you're fighting. I just look at it as finding what works and using that to win. See, that's where you start to fall into that trap of, well, we have to trying to keep from becoming the monster you're fighting. You risk falling into the trap of you have to take the mythical moral high road that doesn't really exist. It's just a trick by your enemies to get you to tie one hand behind your back and make it easier for them to defeat you. I know someone who's using the same name calling and categorization of the people he hates. He has become the monster he fights, at least in thought and justification. Some people will, and I don't think I think it's unavoidable. But again, we can't let that stop us from fighting to win. In some ways, I agree you should not become indistinguishable from your enemies. But don't use that as an excuse. Yes, absolutely be brutal, but don't lose your humanity. That's a good way of putting it. That is a very good way of putting it. Let's see, what else did we... Got a couple of things here that we've got videos on that we'll be reacting to, especially with International Men's Day. That was yesterday, by the way. And I reiterate what I said on Twitter. Men, you matter. Your life has value. All that you fight for, all the toil and struggle, all of it's worth it in the end. Don't let ungodly devils out there convince you otherwise. You deserve happiness, prosperity, and the good life. So whenever you can, treat yourself. Let's see, good one from Metatron here. I think this is an old article. It's about 10 years old, from 2015. Title, yes, diversity is about getting rid of white people, and that's a good thing. I mean, anyone who knew. base actions on the individual, not the group they're in, unless the group itself makes the claim and action. The group will do whatever it is good for the group. If it is to their advantage that they disavow, they will disavow. If it is to their advantage that they will claim responsibility, they will claim responsibility. If it is useful to use the actions of an individual to damage the reputation of a group, I say do so. Because they do it to us. And they already have in many respects. So they've already opened the door to it. Might as well give as good as you can get. Let's see, we had that whole incident with the president on Air Force One. And apparently he said this. Turnabout is fair play. Pick your battles, indeed. Yeah, Quiet Piggy. Some people are now saying that he was actually saying Quiet Peggy, because the reporter's name was Peggy. I don't really care, either way. It's funny. Reporters and journalists should be berated, insulted, talked down to more. It's true. You don't hate the media enough. But he was firm. He was calm. I've done differently. I'm more inclined towards putting the fear of God into people, as we saw previously one time with the collab I did with Zoe the Demon Fox. An ass reporter should be shut up, yeah. They don't deserve respect anyway. No, they really don't. You don't hate the media enough. Anyways, here's how I would have done it. Is that all you have to report, Lady Calico? Calico's mouth suddenly felt dry. She wetted her lips a bit.
For now it is, Your Grace. However, if you could return my companions to me, I could garner more information in the future.
There was an uproar of laughter all around the room that ended with a simple yell from Petra. Silence! Petra crossed his arms and waited for total silence before returning his gaze to the fallen. You are lucky I did not cut it to shreds and burn you alive beside it, Lady Calico. What did you hope to gain by implanting your spy master here in Hexad? Petra spoke emotionlessly, yet Calico could sense the anger boiling behind. Oops.
You're good. I kind of like the anger more than the deadpan.
Is that all your... Happy little accident there, chat. That's what I get for not reading ahead. But I made for a good clip. Made for good content. I don't know how many people saw it, but I did post a reply. Some things happened behind the scenes afterward. There was a couple of people that contacted me, and they said that particular moment, they found it rather sexy, me shouting angrily like that. I'm told that's some sort of kink with some people. Apparently they like being shouted at. I'm not gonna kink shame anyone. If that's what you get off on, you do you, boo. They did encourage me to do more content like that, and I said, no. I'm not going to do that. If it's voice acting and there's a part or a scene that calls for me to get a bit shouty, yeah, I'm going to do it. But I don't personally find shouting at someone to be very sexy. It actually makes me a bit uncomfortable. I don't take any joy in doing something like that. And I'm not about to use someone as a verbal punching bag, as it were. And especially if we're talking a romantic setting, I'd rather just say sweet and romantic things. Which, in ASMR news, I do need to work on another episode of Reading ASMR of the Railway Cities. I forget where we're up to now. The last one... Actually, no, I remember. The last one we did was the collection of Toby the Tram Engine. Because we had the introduction stories of Toby, of Thomas and the policeman, and James and the tar wagons. Oh, that reminds me. I need to pull that up. Hang on. We should watch and... Actually, you know what? This is a good idea. We need to watch and react to this. Hang on. Yeah, here we go. I don't know how many of you know who Trampy is, but really good YouTube videos with him. He is a one-man band who has unique voices for each of the engines in the Railway series. And he does a damn good job with each of them. And he has done a sort of grown-up rewriting of each of the stories, staying true to the original source material, but sort of updating it for a more adult audience. Not that they're doing anything dirty, but, you know, occasionally might let slip a curse word or something like that, and, you know, it's a bit more grown-up talky-ish. I was actually recommended the Trampy's work by Audrey Norfolk, and it's so good. So good. And he's got this fantastic... He does a really good job with Gordon, and... Oh, he even did a... I think he even did a... He did a song somewhere in there. But yeah, I saw him voice acting, and he does the voices of each and every one of the characters. Oh yes, here's a good one. He's doing his impression of Gordon, singing the Frank Sinatra song, My Way. He's actually pretty damn good at it, too. We'll take a look at that later on. Well, yeah. Let's see, circling back to all this. What else can we talk about? Oh, yeah. There's apparently this gigantic pile-up of garbage in Oxfordshire. I'm fairly certain that surveillance footage will eventually come out, assuming it hasn't been destroyed, and it'll show the usual suspects. Either corrupt rubbish collectors or third world migrants, probably a lot of people from the third world, and the footage will be kept suppressed for a long time because people hanging onto the footage and sitting on it didn't want to be called a racist. Related note, if you go to Google Maps and select Street View, drop it anywhere in India, you find piles of trash everywhere. Done this dozens of times, hasn't once failed. I mean, we know it. We know the truth that India and China are two of the biggest polluters in the world. They have zero right to lecture the West on climate, or anything for that matter. But unlike them, we'll at least have the decency to toss that opinion in the rubbish bin, rather than just on the ground, as they're so wont to do. Let's see, what else do we have around here? A couple of lighter things I've been commenting on. Meet a small, cute, shy girl with long black hair. She loves video games. Question is, what do you do? I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. You ask her out. That seems to be a little bit of a foreign concept with some of the younger generations. I guess members of Gen Z are they just think that you just stare at her awkwardly or something. Boop the Awesomest, welcome in. But, yeah, no, not to sound too much like a boomer, but back in my day, if you fancied a girl, you tell her, you ask her out, as in ask her out on a date. Oh, but Rex, it's too expensive to do that in this economy. Save your fucking money and make it work, man. If you fancy the girl and if you want her that badly, go after her. Ask her out. Well, that's my generation, we'd be weird, I know. Well, someone from the older generation, from the millennials, Boop. Let me have a seat here, lad. Let me give you some good sound advice that'll really help you out. Let's say you got, a girl that you fancy. Don't set her awkwardly. Don't be weird about it. You just go up and ask her out. It doesn't have to be anything incredibly fancy. Take it out to dinner. What we're dealing with here, cute, shy girl, long black hair, loves video games. Loves video games as a clue. So we're going to find an arcade. They do still exist, and they make excellent date night locations. You let her beat you at just the right amount of times of the fighting games. Don't get too competitive. Don't get butthurt if she beats you, especially if she beats you fair and square. You win her a prize in the crane game, or you get something from the prize counter if you got enough reams of tickets at skee ball. Get her a plushie or something cute like that. Maybe just a keychain if that's all you can manage. It's the thought that counts. But you shoot your shot. You ask her out. You keep dating her for a few months. And then you go steady. And by go steady, we mean not get into some weird situationship. No. You do the proper thing and ask her, will you be my girlfriend? I'd like to go steady with you. If she likes you, If she feels ready for it, just say yes. You go steady, you keep going out, spend time together. Both of you eventually introduced to each other's parents. You give it a year of courtship. And then things really get serious. Because that's when you're going to ask her to marry you. And if she stayed with you this long and you're both happy together, you don't have to worry about it. She's going to say yes. Wedding, honeymoon, moving in together, that all follows afterwards. Start a family. You enjoy the rest of your lives together. And you watch as this cute, shy girl that you mustered the courage to ask out turns into devoted wife, loyal rock in difficult times, loving mother of your children, that sort of thing. Like for me, yeah, talk to the person and stuff, find out what they like and stuff and do stuff with them. Exactly. If I got butthurt that I got beaten at a game, I'd be extremely annoyed I get beat at every game. Yeah, well, there's some people that are like that. I know because I used to date someone who was like that. She was very much a sore loser, to which I kept having to warn her, you keep that up, nobody's going to want to play with you. And come to find out, that was just the tip of the iceberg for her very negative and destructive behavior. Probably a bit different from my generation, just got married to my now wife on a beach in Hawaii. Well done then, boob. I'd say you're ahead of the curve and you're already winning at life, so well done. Next comes a baby in the pram. On a related note, cute, funny comic strip here from Miku Neki. A date? I don't know, what should I wear? Just wear what girls like to wear. She shows up in cosplaying as Darth Vader, which I gotta admit, she's a cute Darth Vader. If she shows up in cosplay like that, I mean, me personally, date number 2's already a guarantee. I'd be browsing engagement rings on the phone just in case. That's probably how I'd greet her too. It's just like, congratulations, you've just guaranteed date number 2 will happen. Could probably make a joke about curves when you set ahead of the curve. That's true. We do like some curves around here. We are curvy women respecters. Oh, this is neat. We've got Charlotte, North Carolina before ice and after ice. They just press the fix everything button. There's even videos of restaurants that apparently used to be staffed almost entirely by illegal aliens. And they're practically empty now. Along with their illegal alien clientele, they're all gone. Sounds like a bad business model to me. If your business model is built upon illegal immigration, you're going to have a bad time. And you probably deserve to go out of business too, because you need to be hiring Americans, and you need to be serving Americans if you are in Charlotte, North Carolina. You would think this would just be common sense, but apparently that's racist and xenophobic, even though it's not really. They're just using those terms to paint anyone who disagrees in a negative light and target them for death. If my wife showed up dressed as something like Darth Vader, well, Darth Vader is less dangerous than my wife. She's mad. Hell hath no fury. Oh, we've got something here, old Blighty. As a Labour minister, we don't know who, suggesting children born in Britain to immigrant parents could be deported as part of the government's asylum reforms. We've been hearing a lot of this rhetoric, especially from people like Shabana Mahmood. I'm skeptical, and I think a lot of people in Britain need to be skeptical. I think Labour is just pretending to be hard right in order to placate the public, keep the next election from becoming a total bloodbath for them, which it's going to be. That's unavoidable. At this point, it is reforms to lose, but Labour doesn't really mean what they say, and they've got zero intentions of implementing anything remotely near mass deportations or total remigration. In American parlance, it's known as a head fake or a rope-a-dope. It's a feint. They're not really going to do it. It's sort of like what the late Rush Limbaugh pointed out in the midterm elections in the 90s when Bill Clinton was in office. You had a lot of Democrats that were sounding really similar to Reagan conservative Republicans, and that's how they campaigned. And that's how a lot of them won in midterm elections. And it became an undeniable truth of Russia's that Democrats can really only win when they campaign like Republicans. We're seeing the same playbook being replicated with Labour over in the UK. They're having to pretend to be hard right in order to placate the public that wants mass deportations. UK is a wacky place. We all tell the government something's bad and they shouldn't do it, but they do it anyway, like that weird new pointless ID thingy. Yeah, they're all bought and paid for with things like that. And they've had petitions with people demanding, don't do this. To which they're saying, fuck you, we're doing it anyway. I think, if I remember right, a relative of Keir Starmer's had some sort of tech company that stands to benefit from a national ID or from the current censorship controls that they've got implemented. Oh, Trump administration, going back to America for a moment. This is an ad that dropped from the administration, aiming to bring civility back to air travel. Let's give it a watch.
Air travel is a miracle of American ingenuity. We built airports to launch a golden age of travel across the skies. We respected the dignity of air travel and the men and women who made the dream possible. Flying was a bastion of civility. But today...
Oh dear God.
Don't I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing it.
I'm allowed to put my seat back.
But manners don't stop at the gate.
That's right. Manners don't stop at the gate. Things aren't what they used to be. Some would call it the golden age of travel.
Got that right.
Let's bring civility and manners back. Ask yourself, are you helping a pregnant woman put her bag in the overhead bin? Are you dressing with respect? Are you keeping control of your children? Are you saying thank you to your flight attendants and your pilots? Are you saying please and thank you in general? The golden age of travel begins with you.
Okay. All of that, valid, fair points. When you travel, do so with good manners and respect. With that said, this needs to be reciprocated by the airlines and by the airports. Because frankly, there's a lot of people in the American TSA and with a lot of airline crews, they seem to get off on treating people like shit. That has to stop too. I know they got to deal with a lot. That's still no justification to treat passengers like cattle. Probably doesn't help things too that TSA, an agency that receives so much funding post 9/11 to try and prevent terrorist attacks in the skies or prevent terrorists from using aeroplanes as suicide weapons, doesn't really help things when that's probably the one agency that has been targeted the most for DEI initiatives. It's like I thought we were supposed to be going after and trying to prevent Middle Eastern terrorists from using planes as giant flying bombs, and you're going to go out and hire a whole bunch of Mohammedans in order to, what, somehow appear less racist? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Logan Hall saying, so many of our problems are just people dancing around the fact they're misliving in a homogenous, high-trust society. Yes. Treat people how you want to be treated, basically. I wish they would. I really wish they would.